I thank you so much. And let me start by thanking dearly the great efforts of the members of the steering committee, and I appreciate your work. It's not just the preparation of this event here, the summit or the conference, but your hard work since the start of the operationalization of the adaptation agenda of Sharm El Sheikh, or the SAA. Some cultures, you don't exist until you have an acronym, and now we have an acronym, and I hope it will survive in the competition of others. But it has been a very important day today because we're not just talking about the importance of the Sharm adaptation agenda, but basically how to push it further, and in the context of the GST and the context of the next steps. And one or two things we learned from Sharm El Sheikh, basically the importance of cumulative approach when we are trying to do the action, and that holistic system-based approach that was adopted in Sharm had been very helpful. It didn't just produce the Sharm adaptation agenda, but it produced as well the establishment of the Loss and Damage Fund. It reminded us that climate action is SDG action and climate finance is SDG finance, and nothing is closer in the Paris Agreement and than the adaptation agenda to the SDGs. If we are doing the right thing in the adaptation agenda, and primarily in water, which is for adaptation, in the same position that energy is for mitigation, it's SDG 6 in action. And we know from the report submitted to the Secretary General of the UN, whom I have the pleasure and honor of being his special envoy on the SDGs, that in what we managed to measure of the SDGs, 140 targets out of 169, we have 12% only on target for 2030, and unfortunately, the water-related targets are not on track. So this is one strong reminder that despite some incremental successes here and there, what's required from us until 2030, and let's take another lesson from the COP in Sharm El Sheikh, that perhaps if we have these kind of long plans with dates that seems far, gets us a bit relaxed. One of the good successes is basically to have these kind of short-term and implementation-oriented action. This delivered the loss and damage in less than a year. Now I'm happy with the competition that we have seen, that in days we were promised by the president of the World Bank that the full operationalization in terms of being accessible, the loss and damage is going to be within the 90 days. And let's get the same spirit in the adaptation agenda that suffered for many years of neglect. And water I mentioned, and it's obvious that it had to take some sort of good support, but we didn't get that. The other parts, of course, in food systems, SDG 2, not doing very well as well in the SDG metrics. SDG 11, you may have been seeing, and perhaps in the room, mayors and communities at the township level, at cities level, at village level, they can tell you that SDG 11 is leaving a lot as well to be desired. Deforestation, desertification. And now, as if we have finished, the good suggestion is that now we need to get as well health added to this agenda for good and obvious reasons. I think if we learn again from relative success in areas related to mitigation, I think the partnership with the private sector need to be different. I hope next time when we report on the private sector participation, it will not really be that insignificant number of 3% as part of the total value of finance. And I think with the many partnerships in the making, we may get some better news by the time we meet in COP30. I hope that I can be even in a kind of a faster track to say that by COP29, but let's aim for COP30 given the focus of President Lula as a convener and Brazil for that. And the other thing that was very much encouraging for me just to hear just now from the mayors representing Latin America, Asia, and Africa, there is a great deal of importance of technology, research and development. Again, another thing that we learned from the good success in mitigation, it's not just finance, but finance supported by technological solution with good tailoring for the needs of countries in different contexts. And the very final thing, what I've seen in the weak institutional setup in many countries, in the weak policy-making machinery in many countries, there is no substitute in the short term to leadership. And that can come from global leaders in the form of Maya Motley or President Lula, and of course what we have seen here in good hosting by VOE, but regional actors, local actors, they could be coming from by official titles, but many of them could be active, inspiring, as we were just celebrating the great legacy of a man who had been focusing on the importance of taking expedited action, otherwise will be in an era of loss and damage. That is the good name of Salim ul-Haq. Having said that, I look forward to support your work. We have a fantastic climate champion owning this whole thing of adaptation, Razan Mubarak, extending it by diversity and nature, which is natural to be added to your work. And we hope that means of implementation get serious when we talk about adaptation, as we tried to do in the past in mitigation. Nothing to say that mitigation is fully on track, but at least we need the same recognition of urgency to mitigation as we should really be doing to adaptation. Thank you so much, and many thanks to your leadership and the partnership with the Climate Champions team going forward. Thank you.